Hello there. I am Dr. Olympia Papagiorgio. Welcome to my channel where I talk about the intersection of music and mental health. I am so excited for this one. We are going to watch Ren's new drop of Vincent's Tale. I'm super pumped. Let's waste no time. Let's just jump into it. Oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, look at what we see in the background here. Right? Vincent Van Gogh, the sunflowers. So we're keeping that theme, which makes sense, obviously. But I love to see these little references in the visual, right? Everything is so intentional, and I love the continuity of the story in that way. And the last video, so self-portrait ends on the arrest, and then here we are. We're introduced right into the next part. I was not expecting an electric guitar. I was not. It sounds awesome. I was not expecting an electric guitar. It sounds incredible. Yeah. Whew.
Anger. Have you ever felt anger with nowhere to place it? Vincent felt cold, neglected and jaded, impotent, empathy castrated. Look for the new thing, always look for the new thing, but never look inside, never look within, without, above, below. Same thing. Wait, it gets deeper than that. The insane thing is sane men living in insane terrain, contort insane brains that are kind of deranged, strange, without the factor of cause and effect. Factually, the man's a casualty of constant neglect. Let's start at the start.
Oh my
Vincent was
gosh.
born in the
Before we get into the background, wow. I have to rewind.
brains that are kind of deranged, strange, without the factor of cause and effect. Factually, the man's a casualty of constant neglect.
Factually, the man's a casualty of constant neglect. Wow. A victim of being ignored, being, another number, another person existing. Wow.
Kind of deranged, strange, without the factor of cause and effect. Factually, the man's a casualty of constant neglect. Let's start at the start. Vincent was born in the dark, home birth to a mother, painted scars on her arm. Track march from the dragon, China white in the palm. Shooting up the birth canal, Vinny fell out like yarn. Tumbled out, himself unraveling, and that was the theme. Exceptionally average grade, sprayed with low self-esteem. From the fire to the frying pan, painting it green. When it's the cash that rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, funny Vinny. He weren't ever good at hustling, shitty jobs that he was dead and stocking. Started a combustion, nothing Pulled him out of debt, the debt collector's rushing to be stripping him of everything. Eventually, there's nothing. The cycle is a cycle for a psychopath on ice. The day repeats, the days are weeks, the weeks are most your life. When the day's done, it's the same one. It's a repeat, it's a rerun, a deja vu religion, a foreboding of a prison.
Oh my gosh.
Britain, Great Britain, how Britannia ruled the waves. We started out with intentions and we ended up like slaves. Drink to kill the tension, but the
Wow. So this this like pleading with Britain shows up consistently in Ren's songs that I notice. And even musically here, the way that he is executing what he's saying, the way that he's presenting what he's saying changes. And it's like a an audio journey, but with his voice. Like with how he is actually saying the lyrics, his voice changes a little bit as well.
when it's the cash that rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, funny bin. He weren't ever good at hustling.
Right
shitty
here.
jobs that he was dead and stocking started a combustion.
His execution there, his presentation there is different with even with his voice, where his voice is placed. Oh man.
Get the money, funny bin. He weren't ever good at hustling. Shitty jobs that he was dead and stocking started a combustion. Nothing. Pulled him out of debt, the debt collector's rushing
now we're back.
to be stripping him of everything. Eventually, there's nothing. A foreboding of a prison, whole Britain, Great Britain, how Britannia ruled the waves.
You can feel the pleading from him. There's so much passion. I mean, even when he is playing, but was playing in the beginning, the electric guitar. I mean, you just can really sense the music just goes through him. Like you could just see it, that he feels it fully.
Of a prison, whole Britain, Great Britain, how Britannia ruled the waves. We started out with intentions and we ended up like slaves. Drink to kill the tension, but the drinks cost your wage. What helps you is what kills you when you're living to decay.
The way he says decay. It's like there's anger, there's disgust there. There's decay in the way he's saying it.
When you're living to decay.
Through his teeth. Yeah.
And so it goes. Vinny starts to drink to let go.
Oh my gosh.
Soon he's drinking, cause when he don't drink, every day is a day on death row. So we drink so we don't have to think. Mercy.
That voice.
Taste bittersweet. When the spirit that's inside of him sinks in his teeth. And the months turn over, May to October. More days pissed than the days he spent sober. Skin looks older, demeanor gets colder. Sledgehammer swing to that chip on your shoulder. A cold prison deep in alcoholism. 40% proof, no juice. Inhibition get loose by decision and taboos. When we're living for the booze. Who's who he lose himself to? One too many, 1, 2, 3 shots down. Drown those sorrows up in London town. If we in for a penny, we in for a pound. Fate comes full circle. Now it's Vinny boys round.
Wow. Let me go back. His voice is it's beautiful.
Sweet. When the spirit that's inside of him sinks in his teeth. And the months turn over, May to October. More days pissed than the days he spent sober. Skin looks...
Which we saw in, I think it was Self-Portrait. We saw him walking, like stumbling out of the bar. So we got to witness, we had a front row seat in Vincent engaging in substance use and him struggling with it. Yeah.
May to October, more days pissed than the days he spent sober. Skin looks older. Who's who he lose himself to? 1 too many, 1, 2, 3 shots down.
Wow.
Drown those sorrows.
Oh man. I'm trying to find my words. The way that it's interesting. It's like we move from third person to first person with the way Ren describes, at least it feels that way. Like we move from him describing Vincent to him being Vincent, him describing Vincent to him being like Vincent. Even with some of the lyrics, at least that's how I can interpret it in this moment.
Lose himself to one too many 1, 2, 3 shots down. Drown those sorrows up in London town. If we in for a penny, we in for a pound. Fate comes full circle. Now it's Vinny boys round.
Richard's Tale.
Sirens start singing as the screws murder silence. Stand on my Miranda, my right to remain violent. One man's resistance is another man's tyrant. When tyrants make the law, they go to war with non-compliance. Locked up, Vinny been locked up since his mother knocked up. Kitty grew up fast, pulled his socks up, chop chop. Keep that credit top top. Time is money, tick tock. Quantify the price upon your soul and then it's chop shop. Not particularly special, Vinny spent his life a vessel for the musings of the devil. Repetition caused some issues, turned a hide into a jackal. Building pressure in the kettle, bubble up to boiling level. Ooh man, he's a mad lad, falling on the warpath. Vinny split the atom like a Nagasaki bloodbath. Skies are raining black ash, copper car lights flash. Red and blue kaleidoscope, some folks don't like that.
Wow, the visuals are very interesting. These like little manipulations of the visuals are really interesting, and they're subtle enough. Well, I guess not the red giant letters on the screen, but that little distortion there. And even the sound was distorted, right? What sounded like something deep and guttural, almost like this like evil piece. I wanted to go back and look at Richard's face. So I know that Ren, I went and watched them. They're like a series after Richard experienced killing the young boy and then ended up experiencing what looked like and sounded like PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. They give some context to Richard, for sure. They give a lot of context to what's happening to Richard. And not only the difficulty for himself, but how it impacts the people around him. Ren again brings forward for us as witnesses to expose us to the actual real difficulties and suffering that people experience or can experience in their life. And I think I mentioned in my reaction, Violet's Tale and so on, the like first responders, firefighters, policemen being on the front line, kind of facing, not kind of, but really facing some of the most horrific things. And Richard found himself in a position where he actually killed a young boy. And experiencing something so tragic. Yeah. So his facial expression, to me, whoever that actor is, he's quite good, because his facial expression was like utter horror. Because I'm pretty sure it was his first night back to work that he ended up arresting Vincent, because I believe he took time off and he ended up going to a therapist. His first night back at work, and he arrests Vincent here, picking up where we left off.
Now it's Vinny boys round.
Also, we go from telling who Vincent is and his background, shifting to what feels like we have become Vincent. Richard's Tale. Look at his face. Oh my gosh. Utter, concern, horror, seriousness, but like he looks scared to me, and he's looking in his rearview mirror is what it looks like to me. And he's looking at Vincent.
Split the atom like a Nagasaki bloodbath. Skies are raining black ash, copper car lights flash. Red and blue kaleidoscope, some folks don't like that. Never mind, just a victim of society. The one that serves you alcohol and sells you your sobriety. The one that...
Oh my gosh, we have to go back on that. Oh, gee. Whoa.
Red and blue kaleidoscope, some folks don't like that. Never mind, just a victim of society.
Just a victim of society, the one that serves you alcohol.
That serves you alcohol and sells you your sobriety.
Sells
the
you
one
your
that sells
sobriety. Oh my gosh. It's like I need to think about that.
Of society, the one that serves you alcohol and sells you your sobriety, the one that sells you sex as it pedestals virginity, the one where we elect these lying pests with God ability.
All of these contradictions, right?
Sex as it pedestals virginity, the one where we elect these lying pests with God ability. 1 to the 2 to the 3 to the 1, our boy spun his own web-fed tarantulas come like 9 to the 9 to the 9 for his crimes, timelines intersect. Richard's fate was designed.
Wow. Wow, timelines intersect. Richard's wow. I'm always so impressed. I'm just always so impressed by Ren. His storytelling is wild. He's just so good. So good. And, this is different, I feel, visually than what we saw in Self-Portrait. Instead of just looking at him in the back seat, in the back of this patrol car, the words popping up, and when there were 3 of him and it was like kind of black and white, we're seeing things in a different way visually, artistically in this one than we usually do.
Boy spun his own web-fed tarantulas come like 9 to the 9 to the 9 for his crimes, timelines intersect. Richard's fate was designed.
Oh yeah. Here we are.
Paint the picture, set the scene. It's 2019. Richard and a boy named Screech. The hands of fate, they touch and read. Siblings buried, blood it bleeds. Etched in Richard's memories. Thoughts a model, troubled sleep. Takes a time of absently. Hitting the bottle to soften the blow in the walls of yourself, and there's nowhere to go. When his friends on the force, they don't call, they don't show. Go to therapy, raggedy, seem to plateau. When his popo went loco and woe so low that his mojo no mo, no rebound, no yo-yo. And so the time it moves slow-mo. You see the case was...
Oh my goodness, did he breathe? He's amazing. Did he breathe? Wow. My gosh. Wow. So here we are, Screech's Tale. And when Richard found himself killing Screech, and he's starting to tell us the story of what happened to Richard in the aftermath of that event.
Pictures set the scenes. On the force, they don't call, they don't show. Go to therapy, raggedy, seem to plateau. When his popo went loco and woe so low that his mojo no mo, no rebound, no yo-yo. And so the time it moved slow-mo. You see the case was never closed, cause the motive was confusing. Orphan killed his sister, but his sister was removed when the mother died in childbirth. But dying womb life brings the cycle of samsara. Always was quite amusing. Brother killed his sister, but the records seem to show the brother never met his sister, didn't even know. So the tragedy was a catastrophe, the fate fucked up. Richard's losing sleep while his whole family's talked. So
here he is in therapy. Oh, wow.
The 5 stages of grief is a common psychological model, often used to provide reassurance to all those stricken by loss. For loss.
Wow, I need a second to digest each piece. One of the things that I thought of, in some ways, there's this parallel. He talked about like timelines intersecting, right? Everyone's timeline in this case intersecting. So from Screech's Tale, Richard's life, Richard then to Vincent, and he talked about how Vincent was struggling with alcohol use, and he was also trying to cope, it sounds like, right, with life, with the difficulty, with the suffering, with potentially like trauma, whatever was happening in his life. he was trying to also cope and survive. And then he talks about Richard. And Richard, he's trying to cope too. And that's what first came to mind, this kind of parallel between Vincent and Richard, and their lives collide at some point when Richard actually arrests Vincent. But the cards were different for Richard. He ended up going to therapy and was able to return back to his work. And instead, for Vincent, it became worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and he ended up arrested. So, and I appreciate, again, showing us, it's cool, we're like in this little space here, but showing us these experiences of difficulty with family, of suffering of multiple people at one time, and we really get to see how these traumatic experiences can impact everyone around. And it's sad, it's hard, and it's sad.
Orphan killed his sister, but his sister was removed when the mother died in childbirth.
And the recap, right?
The dying womb life brings the cycle of samsara. Always was quite amusing. Brother killed his sister, but the record seemed to show the brother never met his sister, didn't even know. So the tragedy was a catastrophe, a fate fucked up. Richard's losing sleep while his whole family's talk.
Aww. Richard's losing sleep while his whole family is sleeping. He's losing sleep.
The 5 stages of grief is a common psychological model, often used to provide reassurance to all those stricken by loss. For loss comes with a cost like frostbite, shockingly cold, paving the road to decomposure, decomposing your soul. 1. Denial, pretending for a while, reality retired, but everything is changing. Richie lost the will to smile, how to reconcile when murdering a child. The 2nd stage is anger, feel it bubbling the bile. Anger, damn the man that served the hand that wrote the plan. If God is will that's good and grand, then damn we are all are damn forsaken by creation. Revelations Richard cannot stand. The 3rd stage is bargaining, begging God for second chance. Lord, I know it is a reach, but I'm begging on my knees. Resurrect the boy James, resurrect the boy Screech. I'll devote my life to thee, I will live a life of peace. Stage 4 is depression, that's a lesson taught in grief. Depression, demonic like possession, that feeds upon this spark for life, no water is refreshing.
Wow. Again, the switch artistically from this pleading voice, which he's paired together with the stage of bargaining, and now depression. And the stages of grief, we should definitely talk about those stages of grief. There's some interesting information about it. So yeah, let's try to talk about that at some point. But I don't want to lose where we are.
Depression, demonic like possession, that feeds upon this spark for life, no water is refreshing. No sunlight brings him warmth, no sleep will ever bring resting. His guilt and doubt are oh so loud, the silence sounds so deafening. Depression, the numbing of expression, the negative obsession, ruminating in oppression. Stressing is a lesson when your mind begins reflecting. That's stage number 5. 5 is acceptance. Souls get shaken up, the road's never quite ideal, but slow rise, dust it off. And let me tell you something, Richie, man, I'm proud, cause you pulled a stitch from the seam, the wound was open weeping. Felt like a regression, but that flesh was set for healing. You wrestled imperfections, misdirections, walked with demons. Most demons are a fallen angel, truth has double meanings. Perspective disconnects the trauma, trauma turns to lessons. The biggest curse you'll ever face could be your greatest blessing. Remember, in the darkest times, no need for second guessing. No path is ever linear, a stumble leads to stepping. You're a soldier, a scholar of life's sorrow, and day follows day. There will always be tomorrow when...
So that music, again, is hopeful now. This change, the music is happy and brings a bit of hopefulness. Nice piano.
Day day follows day. There will always be tomorrow when it gets colder. Whatever, it's only weather. Rain feeds the crops, let them grow, think clever. I'm so fucking proud of you, Richie, my boy. I know you're itchy, my boy, to get to work and deploy. Serve and protect my don, in for the right reason. I know you think you've done wrong, but look at who you become. It's your first day at work, big man.
Oh.
Hold that head up high, my friend. Come on. We're all proud of you, Richie. I hope you get out there and smash it. I mean, what could go wrong?
Wow. Wow. So I was in the middle of reviewing what I just filmed, and there's just so much that then comes up upon further review of Ren's work. So I was like, wait, no, I'm not done. We have to go back. That is how talented he is, that you can watch things multiple times and see something new and hear something new every single time. You know what it feels like to me? That, okay, for example, that intentional transition here to Richard's tale instead of maybe a little later, like after Vincent talks while he's in the back of the patrol car, having tension in the home and going to therapy. Like, it doesn't switch there to the title of Richard's tale. It switches here. And in some ways, it's as if Vincent represents every person who has been in the back of that patrol car. Every situation, or, we don't want to like make absolutes about everything or generalize, but in some ways it's kind of like Richard's experience as a police officer, almost like it's all flooding back to him, that there are individuals in the back of his patrol car who have experienced horrible things and who have caused horrible things to happen. That focus on Richard's face to then turn to Vincent, it's like Richard is realizing the actual danger again. And the sirens going.
Sirens start singing.
So even though we're talking about Vincent here, it also feels like we're talking about lots of different Vincents, different people who have been in the back of this patrol car. The one specifically that came up that I was like, I need to continue, wait. There is a lot of artistic playing with shadows and small spaces. The patrol car is small. This room is small. The jail cell, small. Like these moments of jail, these moments of being enclosed is happening in different spaces as we move through this video. See, well, the therapy room is actually quite large or larger than these spaces, which is interesting. And the specific thing that came up was these shadows, especially when his wife leans in and colors. The time moves in slow-mo, and the way the voice is there changes, slow-mo, and it changes.
Cause the motive was confusing. Orphan killed his sister, but his sister was removed.
So I was not, like, initially when I was watching this, I wasn't expecting another person coming in on the left. And I'm assuming it's his wife arguing with him, like they're in the middle of some kind of fight or something. But there's this intentional shadowing happening and darkness, and Ren is who we see really clearly. Richard is wearing dark clothes, is in this corner of the screen on the right, and then the music also changes. Bring, bring. You can hear that, right? That causing this like scary screeching feel. And the wife steps in, so this character steps in. This silhouette of darkness also steps in on the left, or dark silhouette. I mean, it's really very interesting.
Was never closed cause the motive was confusing. Orphan killed his sister, but his sister was removed when the mother died in childbirth. But dying womb life brings the cycle of samsara. Always was quite amusing. Brother killed his sister, but
and here, there's the distortion of what we're seeing visually, and the color is really Ren, right? Like we see him in color more prominently.
seem to show The brother never met.
And he's telling the story to Richard, but it's like Richard doesn't, well, maybe Richard doesn't know that story. And he's informing Richard, but it's almost like they're not in the same dimension, right? Like they can't quite hear each other. So it creates this sense of disconnection of different dimensions or different universe, different place.
Didn't even know, so the tragedy was a catastrophe.
And then we're back to color again.
Richard's losing sleep while his whole family's talk.
Beat changes again. So there's a different element here.
So scared.
Again, different beat. So like we are experiencing, it feels like several songs in one because they're like different chapters in one video. A journey again through the audio. There's moments of tension and fear, and there's moments of hopefulness and joy, opportunity, new life.
I hope you get out there and smash it. I mean, what could go wrong?
What could go wrong? I'm curious where we're going to go from there. It's going to be an adventurous time going through these stories and these chapters with Ren. Okay, so we're going to go back a bit to when I paused the video and was like, we need to talk about this again. So the 5 stages of grief that Ren was referencing, or the Kubler-Ross model, is by Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and she was a psychiatrist. And she did these interviews, had these discussions with individuals who were told that they were dying from an illness. So individuals who were terminally ill. She then published a book. That's where she talks about these stages. So it's important to remember that these stages didn't come about from individuals who are experiencing bereavement, you grieving the loss of someone. Later, she and David Kessler basically applied the stages to grieving more specifically. There isn't really research that supports the 5 stages. Grief is not linear. You don't go through specific stages, and there's no perfect way to go through grief or to grieve and experience bereavement. Not everyone experiences those emotions, and that you may or may not experience the things that are talked about in the 5 stages. There's a lot of conversation, like a lot of criticism around the 5 stages model. She addresses it herself and says that this has been misunderstood and that grief is not linear. When someone is grieving, so many things can come up, and you can experience and feel things unexpectedly, and a multitude of emotions that can even be contradictory emotions at the same time. But just wanted to offer some extra information and some context. And there are other models and theories that talk about grieving, such as the dual process model and meaning reconstruction, and others as well. I really appreciate you listening and watching, and thank you so much for being here. I'm glad you're here, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.